What up, homies of the interwebs? Lugnuts.Guapo coming at you from Fort Worth, Texas. And well, I am not on the GuapoGlide, and I am not on my wife's little Honda Shadow. So what am I riding right now? And did I make a mistake? Well, I guess let's get into it here shortly, shall we? Roll that intro. Yeah! This light always takes forever, man. Jeez. Anyways, well, oh, green. Woo! Speaking of which, oh man, this bike is pretty fun, pretty exciting. If you don't know what it is, well, we'll get to that here in a little second. If you have any guesses, just by the sounds of the lack of roar of the engine, lack of noise, drop your comments below, let me know what you think this bike is before I reveal it to everybody. But I'm not on the GuapoGlide, and well, there's a couple things that have kind of been stewing in my head over the last few weeks. I mean, it is a 13-year-old bike, or 14-year-old at this point. Actually, I'm not really sure. Yeah, I think my 13, 14-year-old motorcycle with almost 60,000 miles. And well, I had a little bit of a dilemma because on average, I was putting about 18,000 miles a year on it. So the reason why that's important to think about is because I don't have a gear drive cam plate in there or a hydraulic cam plate, and so yes, I have the stock camshaft tensioner design or setup, and I bought that bike with a little over 40,000 miles, and I changed the cam shoes, and that was like not even a year and a half ago, and we're ready, you know, that just means that at this rate I'll be changing those camshaft tensioners by next February, give or take. I mean, so basically for every time I switch it out, it'll last me about almost 2 years. And that's, I don't know if you've ever done camshaft tensioners, they're not fun. They take a hot minute, and at the rate of replacing those every 2 years, and not wanting to spend the money on a gear drive or a hydraulic cam plate, well, it was just one of those things like, man, I could just see the time and like money, like, you know, just going through my head, and I was just not remotely interested in doing that unless I was actually doing a gear drive, because it's basically no maintenance right there, and other than the fluids, you know, changing the fluids and whatnot. But so I'm like, okay, do I really want to spend whatever, $300, $500, you know, to do all that and then still put the labor into it? On top of that, right past 80,000 miles, it is very common for flywheels on twin cams to go out. It's not a matter of if they go out, it's a matter of when they go out. And that is coming from technicians who I'm friends with, who each have close to 20 years or more of experience in this industry. So basically, most of their lives working in the industry has been with twin cams, and very little with Evos, which they all love Evos. And hopefully I'll get to own a FXR, not, you know, hopefully not too far in the distance. But anyways, so flywheels, I mean, that's about anywhere between $500 and $7,500 job, parts, labor, all that jazz. I mean, it's not cheap, and I could do it myself, but as I said, when it comes to the actual powertrain, replacing the engine or anything like that, I just don't trust myself, because I honestly, like, not that I couldn't do it, but I do not trust myself, and that's just honestly the truth. I've installed things in the past and, you know, made a little mistake here and there, and it ended up costing me time because I'd have to go back and fix it. So that was kind of, you know, in the back of my head. I'm almost at 60,000, and 60,000 is an important number because Harley changed their warranty policy to, instead of 75,000 miles to down to 60,000 miles, but that way they could include more model years. So instead of 10 years, 15 years. So I was literally at the cusp of, let's close this vent right here. I was literally at the cusp of like, okay, I'm about to not be able to get a warranty, and you can only get a 2-year because of the age of the motorcycle. And at that point, I just have to pray that if I spend $2,500 on a warranty, that that engine will blow up within 2 years, and there's just no guarantee. So if you saw my last video, you know that I didn't really pay that much for this motorcycle, the GuapoGlide, and well, it just doesn't make any sense, honestly, to spend almost as much on a warranty than I did for the motorcycle. I'd just rather buy another Harley Davidson. Logically speaking, emotionally speaking, that makes absolutely no sense. It's my very first Harley, title in my name. I mean, that could be hard to let go. But with that said, I no longer own the GuapoGlide, and its timing just couldn't have been better for a kind of situation, because with COVID-19 hitting, used inventory is a lot harder to find for dealerships in general and out there, and people are paying top dollar for used inventory. Well, I got made an offer that was almost twice as much as I had into that motorcycle, and it was slightly above retail, and I was like, man, that's honestly a no-brainer at this point. It just becomes a matter of like, you know, if I can really let that bike go. But I knew that there was going to be issues down the road, not to mention at 50K you're supposed to do the forks, I believe, and I haven't touched those forks at all, and so that had to come soon. And man, I honestly got tired of working on it and spending time and money, and I was just kind of over it at that point as well. So I was offered a good amount of money, sold it, and I was like, I'll just buy another Harley. And right as that happened, I spent the whole week looking for an FXR. FXRs, people way overpay for FXRs, but I get it, you know, demand and supply. There's not that many FXRs for how many people want an FXR. And well, the search will continue. And in the meantime, this came through. This is a 2012 Yamaha Super Tenere, however you want to call it. I've heard it both ways. This bike is extremely comfortable and extremely quick, and I've had a blast riding it. So roll that clip. Oh man, I never saw myself owning one of these. I've ridden many adventure bikes, and I've never actually owned one. And honestly, I like, you know, it's kind of a no-brainer. It came in and trade. I bought it the day that it was traded in, because I mean, 7,000 miles or 7,700 miles at the time, and on top of that, I mean, 2012 has a whole bunch of extras. And I was like, you know what, for the price, it's actually not a bad idea. Worst case scenario, I could buy it, ride it, and flip it, because the retail on these is about $7 grand, $6,900, $7,000. And at the same time, I was like, man, it's like, I would like to own one just so when the Pan America comes out, I would have a little bit more experience as to what it is to own and ride an adventure model. And so far, it's been absolutely fantastic. It has not let me down. And I think we're really, I forget how many miles we're on right now. Let's see. We are right at 8,200 miles. So I put a couple hundred miles on it in the past few days. I basically ride, on average, close to 100 miles a day, which is, I mean, not bad, but actually very enjoyable. 100 miles a day. So in a week, 500 to 600 miles. That's, I mean, I'll get a lot of a lot of miles on this before, to give myself an idea of how much, is it really fun, is it really that comfortable and all that jazz. And I'm sure there'll be a video to come on it, but there's a lot of videos to come on it as well. So the only thing that really is really wrong with this is the turn signal over there. Well, that was broken and it's filled with zip ties and electrical tape. And I called my buddy Scott, and I mentioned him because he works at Lone Star Yamaha. He was gonna hook me up with a turn signal. Went ahead and ordered a turn signal through him. And when I was having that conversation with him, I was like, why do you need a turn signal for a Yamaha? Because he knows that I owned a Harley before this. And I was like, well, I bought one. He was like, no way. What year? Oh, 2012. No way. How many miles? 7,700. No way. How much did you pay? And I told him how much I paid. He said, you suck. Because he paid $7 grand for his the exact same day that I bought this. So he bought weird things. When we had the conversation, it was like literally 2 days after I had purchased it. He, like, literally, we bought the same bike the same day. His has twice the mileage and he paid retail for it, and I paid a lot less than that. And boy, man, it's just kind of weird and creepy. His is blue and it's basically completely stock. Mine has a pipe. They added some I forget what it's called, light guard, I guess, headlight guard, LED bar. The levers are adjustable. I don't know if that's a stock feature on the Super Tenere, but I guess I'll find out later on. But yeah, this bike is pretty freaking awesome. Oh, and it comes with a little cool bag, a little pouch on the back with the I forgot what it's called, like the luggage rack, I guess. Man, honestly, it's been fun to ride. It's been a lot of fun to ride. So to all my Harley lovers, fear not. There will be a Harley in the future. Harleys hold a very special place in my heart. There's nothing like riding a Harley. There's also nothing like riding two wheels in general. And riding something like this, I mean, Harley, this is not Harley's market. And of course, the Pan America's coming out, and I hope it's just as brilliant and fun and light and affordable as something like this would be brand new. Now, that's, we'll see. They definitely don't have a really good streak when it comes to pricing their motorcycles. And when I say that, for the public to really want to pull the trigger, especially on something that's as new as the Pan America is going to be, with their platform and the new engine, and obviously this being their first adventure bike, for the most part. Like if you want to count the Ulysses, I mean, that was kind of like their best fuel, right? So, but I don't know that I would consider that an adventure bike, or maybe it is, I don't know. I feel like that was kind of like a weird one, but awesome motorcycle nonetheless. But yeah, this is I don't know if I'll regret selling the GuapoGlide, because again, it was my first Harley. But so far, once I got over the initial sting of letting it go, that says that riding this has been an absolute blast, and I'm still looking for the next Harley. And obviously I'll be flipping this not too far from now, but in the meantime, I'll just have as much fun as possible on it. And of course, there will be a video to come on this bike particularly. So the GuapoGlide went to another guy who it was going to be his first Harley, so that was kind of cool. And I'm excited to see this guy could just continue to put miles on that bike, and hopefully he doesn't have any more issues. Thankfully, he actually did pay for an ESP, so I'm excited for him on that end. So anyways, if you like this content, if you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, turn that notification bell on, and of course follow me on social media if you don't already. And well, until I see you next time, get on two wheels and get some wind therapy. Later.